So, hey Tennessee, I just wanted to explain more about myself and who I am and how my whole life has prepared me for this struggle that we are in, that I'm fighting to restore justice in this country. I was born the youngest of 6 boys, and being the youngest of 6 boys, I was always bullied. But that life, taught me how to stand up for myself. And I grew up, we were a very poor family, very modest, that had, loving parents, and generally my brothers were good. But I joined the Marine Corps at a young age. My grandfather was a Marine, my father was a Marine, and I think when I was 7 years old, the Marine Corps band came and played at my school. And at that age, I knew that when I was old enough, I was going to become a United States Marine. So 2 months after I turned 17, I joined the Marine Corps. And soon after joining, I volunteered for Force Reconnaissance. And most people don't know what a Force Recon Marine is, but I used to do stuff like walk out of an escape trunk on a nuclear submarine underway out at sea and use that as an insertion technique. I used to jump out of airplanes with full combat equipment at 25,000 feet. I have served pretty much across the entire globe, excluding the Far East, north of the Arctic Circle, deserts in the Middle East, jungles in the tropics. I've served on pretty much in every climate and place, which is part of the Marine Corps hymn. My 5th and 6th great grandfather, Robert Gentry, was my 6th great grandfather. He was a Tennessee pioneer, and they worked to establish justice. Those Tennessee pioneers came from Virginia, and they moved down to Tennessee, and they were trying to get away from class distinctions, that a man's character defines his place, and the strength of his back defines his place, not his station in life. So after the Marine Corps, I went to college at the University of Maryland, and I did my bachelor's degree in 2.5 years. So I'm a pretty quick study, and I graduated cum laude, which is in the top 10% of my class from the University of Maryland. And I started as an auditor, and then worked my way up to CFO and different positions in different companies. I was involved in a court case where I just witnessed rampant corruption, and the results of those proceedings were not entirely unfair, but the process I saw was so corrupted, such an incredible denial of rights. I felt compelled to engage in this battle to restore judicial accountability, to restore justice to our courts. My service in the military leaves it impossible for me to not stand up to defend the Constitution, that the men and women that have sacrificed for this country. I refuse that government effectively can spit on the corpses of men and women who have sacrificed for this country. I also swore an oath to defend the Constitution against enemies, foreign and domestic. And this is a domestic enemy that has fundamentally altered our form of government, and who are not adhering to their oaths to uphold the Constitution. Like, for example, judges holding prohibited offices of trust in the Tennessee Board of Judicial Conduct, with those offices being used to protect the corruption that's occurring across the state in our courtrooms every day. And so I am compelled under oath and basically, love thy neighbor. So it's love of my fellow man and love of my republic that I have engaged in an almost impossible struggle. But we are making progress. People have been removed from office. The Board of Judicial Conduct has been reconstituted. They're making an effort. It needs to be abolished, and judicial oversight needs to be returned to the legislative houses so that we have the check of one branch over the other, which was the intent of the founders. So that's a little bit on my background and who I am and why I'm engaged in this struggle. And I ask my fellow citizens to stand with me, to defend our Constitution, to call our representatives and tell them to support the work of John Gentry. Call your senators and tell them to support the work of John Gentry to restore judicial accountability and to restore the right of remonstrance. So my name is John Gentry. I'm a candidate for State Senate, District 18, Sumner, Trousdale, and part of Davidson County. And because people from across the state have expressed their desire to vote for me, I've registered as a write-in candidate for the United States Senate. So I would ask you to also, in addition to voting for me in my district, also write me in for the United States Senate and send a message to government that you stand with me and that you demand that government re-adhere to the provisions and the mandates in our state and federal constitutions. So thank you for taking this time with me. God bless, Godspeed to us all, and in God we trust.